Ooby-doo, it's everyone's favorite boomer and vintage lens enthusiast. And today we're going to look at the Nikon Zoom NIKKOR 35 to 70 millimeter f3.5 constant aperture. This is an old-time f-mount AIS, I believe. Came out in the late 80s or something, so it's discontinued. And I got this from my favorite used camera gear store in Smyrna, Georgia. We all know who they are. I'm not going to say their name. And I also bought, not at the same time, but I bought from the same place in Smyrna, Georgia. I bought the SONY Alpha or a6000 mirrorless camera. And this is still, it's discontinued, but you can still get new old stock from the superstores. Of course, I didn't do that. I bought it used. I got it 50% off. And that's the sweet spot to pick up, your favorite camera that you have technolust for, but you can't afford. Of course, I'm not going to pay $700 or $800 for it. I got it like for $350 or something, in excellent, outstanding condition. This I paid like $120 for, and this is in excellent plus condition. I couldn't believe it, and it's a fine lens, and it got rave reviews from other people, so I went and I got one. Now, what I did was today is the last Sunday in September 2023. It's the 24th, and some tropical storm came up the coast, and the coast got hammered with heavy rain and winds, but I was on the northwestern edge of it, and I'm getting some minor gusts. I'm getting, drizzle to moderate downpours intermittently. So what I did was my cat gets me up. Even though it's Sunday, I don't have to go to work. My cat, he still wants to eat. So, 4:30, he hops in his sack and he starts like annoying me. So I get up and I feed him. And so I left at 5 o'clock and I drove to a highway, a commercial highway that has all stores and stuff on it. And I set this to ISO 1600. I set the aperture to one stop under. I guess that would be f4. It has half click stops. Does it? No, it only has a half click stop, 3.5, f4, and everything else is full f-stop. So that was pretty cool. So I went right there. And it has an interesting feature. If you push this button, say you're in 70, and you push this button, you could go into this macro mode, only in 70. If you try and zoom, the zoom is locked. So that's a nice touch. I didn't use that yet. What I did was I went through the paces with this lens from 70 to 35 mostly. I'm sure I did a couple of intermediate focal lengths. Almost all the shots were infinity. I only did a couple of shots that were much closer, maybe, 2, 3, 4 feet. And these were all, it should be twilight at 6 o'clock, 6:30, but because of heavy overcast, it was still dark. So all my pictures were of the lights of all the stores on the highway. And I stopped in a town, and 2 other towns, and I did a couple quick shots of, strip malls and the sort of stores and signs you see at strip malls and the grape steak of New Jersey, where I live. So this is a fine performer. I think it's excellent, wide open, very usable. This is 24 megapixel. Like I said, I use 1600. I was using shutter speed of like a 1/320th of a second, 1/250 of a second, stuff like that. And I could highly recommend this lens. I'm going to do another daytime photo shoot of it using the macro mode and more typical photography. And it's going to be a short video. The Sony, it has typical Sony menu, and it had some upgraded features, like you can set it for auto ISO, and it goes up to 250,000 ISO, and you could do that in movie mode. It has an expanded ISO noise reduction menu. It has an expanded slow shutter speed noise reduction menu too, and some other features that the 5000 series didn't have. And it seems to have better battery life than the 5000 series too. It's a little goofy. Some of the things are the same, but some of them are a little bit changed, but that's neither here nor there. But this is a good combo. This is a little bit of a stovepipe lens. It's this thing 35 to 70. It's pretty long, including the adapter. That's a stovepipe looks to me. But it's a nice lens. I could highly recommend it. So without further doggy do, why don't we jump right into the photo samples and check them out. So this one tattoo parlor has this really great old school neon sign that I use as a reference picture. And then I went to the highway, the commercial highway, and it was a rainy day. And I figured I'd take some early morning shots of these businesses, just so you could see what was life in the great state of New Jersey towards the end of 2023. And this lens, the NIKKOR Zoom 35 to 70 f3.5, is a really nice little number if you can get it cheap. I mean, these are all wide, well, f4. I'm a half stop down. I forgot to do a half stop, use ISO 1600, fast shutter speed to get rid of the boom or jitters, and then we'll see how it goes. And it looks like it works really good. And of course, I'm going to have to do a further study, a daytime study, at normal apertures like 5.6, 8, and 11, and just to see how it handles throughout its range. And I've been wanting to do this study for a long time of these morning, commercial business lights, the Alps Diner. It looks like it's floating. It's a big sort of Art Nouveau sign, but you can't see the geometric pattern at the time I took it. And of course, I used to drive to work on this road. And then, when the season of darkness is upon us, I always say, yeah, I got to take some pictures of all this and see what it's all about. And so finally, I got off my rotten carcass and I was able to do it. Luckily, my cat got me up to feed him, and then I just did it. And I mean, I couldn't go walking anywhere, so I just drove down the street, pulled in a parking lot, took some pictures. Hey, Jersey Mike subs. And I just did this photojournalistic study of signs. Smash burger. Wouldn't you like to smash a burger? Stop and shop or stop and cop. So it's just weird. I live in this state and it's highly urbanized and commercial. Pompton Queen Diner. Yeah, look at that. And then, I just want to show this is where I live. This is what it's all about. It's like everything's all lit up at night. It was Sunday morning. Everything was closed. Nothing was open. But yet you could see all this stuff. I took 2 pictures of this at a different angle. So just, you see, here's a more frontal angle. I sharpened this one and I adjusted the levels a little bit. And the Farm View Pork, they were there for like 50 years and I think they just closed down last year or something. So it was a family business and they're gone. This is some sort of ethnic liquor or something. This is a liquor store. So I guess it's, if you like that sort of liquor. The Cardinal Cafe, they've been there for quite a while. That's cool. See, they made it, And now I'm in a different town, the Hot Bagels. I used them as a reference. Yuki Japanese restaurant. I've eaten there a couple times. They're pretty good. I could recommend them. Now, the Yuki was the center crop. This is the lower left crop of the same picture. And you can see it's a little fuzzy, a little soft. Oakland Drugs. Can I get me some Oakland Drugs? OD. OD on Oakland Drugs. Oakland Giant F. What does that mean? I don't know. But get this lens. It's a nice lens.